Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Ghost Biker Garage. As you can see, I am not in the Ghost Biker Garage tonight. I am indeed here at the Haunted and Historic Scott County Jail. It's been a busy day here at the jail, actually. A lot of meetings, a lot of cool things going on. Had some really interesting folks come in today, sharing some different stories. One was a lady who actually worked here back whenever the jailers lived here in the jailers' quarters. So she shared a lot of stories with me, and it was a really good day. Hope everyone is having a good day here. I know I am so excited about tonight's show, and I know a lot of you are too. I've been getting a lot of messages about it and a lot of comments. So we're going to get to tonight's guest here in a few minutes, but I want to go ahead and say hello to a few people over here in the chat room. We've got Janet here. Hey, Dr. Sumner, thank you all so much for tuning in. And Mr. Lynn Dorman, he says, nice biceps. So I know he's talking about tonight's guest because he's not talking about me. But so like I said, a lot going on up here. We made a couple different announcements that we'll be sharing here a little bit later on in the show. We're wrapping up the Women's History Month here at the jail with our flashlight tours, as well as our all-female ghost hunts, ladies' fright. So we're wrapping those up, and we're also wrapping up the Women's History Month here on the Ghost Biker Garage. I know we've had some amazing ladies, starting off with the ladies from Paranormally Blonde and the girls from Pittsburgh up in Steel City Ghost Hunters. And then last week, all the way up into Gettysburg with Miss Pam Berry. So I'm going to go ahead and before I get into, anything and stuff that's going on here with Ghost Biker, we'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the show, because I know there's some different appearances and some different events that's coming up pretty hot and heavy. I want to go ahead and jump in with my guest, and I want to, I can't do, this lady is a true badass, and, I can't do justice as far as introducing her. So she's actually provided me a trailer from one of her new movies that's coming out later on. And so I'm going to let that do the talking. So let me go ahead and get this shared here, and then we'll welcome Miss Constance Payne onto the show. Let's see.
I recognize that guy from somewhere.
Not here. We're on vacation.
You know me.
How you doing? You waiting for somebody?
You seem like you've had a little too much to drink.
What are you doing? You know who I am?
John Slater.
That's called kidnapping, and we can't help you if you get in trouble.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Look, Juliet. Where did they take her?
I don't know these guys. I met them for the first time. Come on, what are you doing? This is gonna get us killed, man.
This is how much I trust you.
I'm gonna ask you again, then I'm gonna shoot you. Where's the girl?
I cannot remember.
They need the organs, okay? They harvest the kids and transplant the organs.
Please save her. Just
Pull up the bird. Escape.
You guys gotta hold on her for 12 hours.
Where's my daughter?
You might shoot me. They will definitely shoot me.
We're looking for Mihai and Andre. Where do we find them?
If they really took her, then she's dead.
You've got to stop them.
Fucking people are going to die tonight.
It's not the end of the world.
You know you're a cop. You know what I do.
Oh, shit.
That's your plan?
Hey, you don't like it?
All right, but we're running out of time.
He's going as fast as he can. Be patient.
I know your gun is empty.
You think I don't know how to reload, you asshole?
Hey.
Okay, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you like right after the trailer played. I was like, oh no, I can't hear you.
You know, I muted my mic so that I didn't come through while the trailer was playing. So
With all your heavy breathing, like
exactly. you get me out of breath there watching all that.
Oh, girl, thank you so much for having me on here. Like, we have never actually spoken in person. It's just kind of like been back and forth online and stuff. So it's nice to finally like meet you kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really funny because we've been friends there on Facebook for quite some time now, and I've been following what you do, and I'm always seeing booked on your page. I mean, you're a busy lady.
I am. And that's another reason I follow you, because it's like, I love seeing women like do their thing, and like your consistency with your program is admirable. A lot of people, they'll start something and they'll just kind of like do a couple episodes and then just fizzles out and whatever, and they can't like keep up with it. And so I definitely admire you so much in that respect on doing your ghost biker stuff. And like, I mean, just this too. I mean, this is awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, it's I love seeing women support other women. And when I decided that I wanted to highlight women here on the Ghost Biker Garage, you were one of the first people I thought of because, you know, because like I said, you're always doing something, and you have an amazing background, and plus you've had paranormal experiences. So so I was excited that you were able to take the time in between filming to come on and talk with us.
Yeah, of course, man. Like, I mean, I live for this shit. Like, because I don't do a whole lot of like video. Like, I'll do like picture posts, and I'll do. I got to get better at doing some little videos because people think I'm hilarious. I don't think so. I think I'm pretty fucking lame. I just go to work and I go home. But I'm very sarcastic, and a little bit sassy, and call it how I see it. So.
I like it. I like it. So let's tell folks about you and how you got started, what you do and how you got started.
So how I got started with acting?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I think I started in like 2016, and I took an acting class out in Orlando. Because I wanted something new. I had kind of like plateaued in my career. I was running, you know, an auto glass business and everything like that. I'd accomplished a lot of things, you know, bought a house, like had all the things. I'm like, well, I need a different hobby. And so for some reason, acting seemed kind of cool and fascinating. Took a class in Orlando, and I got hired right out of that acting class, and did like a little, with the fan film series type things. That's where I got my start, was Icons of Horror 2. And so I did a few short films for them, and then they made it into a feature, which has like 2 million views on YouTube. I'm still like really, really impressed by that. And all that footage has gotten me where I'm at today. And a couple of years after that, then I moved here to Atlanta because the market's way better, and I've just been busy nonstop. So on average, I book and film about once a month. You know, sometimes it's not like every month. Like some months I'll like film like twice or 3 times, but when you average it out to a year, it's like once a month. So it's been good. It's been really lucrative. I've met a lot of awesome people, a bunch of amazing directors I've worked with, a lot of collaborative projects. And, you know, I mostly do a lot of action, some horror, a little bit of sci-fi, not too much comedy, but I did just get booked on a comedy, a little short series type of deal that we're going to be filming throughout the year. So I'm excited to see how my sarcasm, because I'm more like, what do you got? What the hell is his name? The guy in Meet the Fockers.
Oh,
Robert De Niro. I'm like really dry and salty type of humor, and not many people do that. Like a lot of people do like ha ha ha, like they're really like playing jokes and stuff. And I'm just I'm the opposite of that. I'm very sarcastic, very dry humor. So so that's the type of character that I'm going to be playing in this comedy series called Why Are We Friends? And I'm really excited. I'm like the bodybuilder of the group. And so it'll be fun. I've got a couple gags already. I like looking through the scripts and being able to say, hey, I can do this and I can do that. Here's some ideas. And most of the time people like my ideas. And if they don't, I'm like, no skin off my back. I don't care. It's your film.
Exactly. And I want to make sure, can everybody else hear me okay right now? I saw a couple comments saying they can't hear me. So if somebody could just give me a thumbs up, just want to make sure that
That
everything
your
is
mic
good.
is on.
Yeah. Because I'm seeing some of the different comments, they may be delayed. So, but again, if any of you guys, okay, great, thank you. So, if any of you guys have any questions or anything for myself or for Constance during the interview, please feel free to put those in the comments, and we'll definitely pull them on here. So you mentioned, transitioning into comedy. I know you're quite the method actor with, jumping in and really becoming the role. Is that something that was kind of a challenge, changing from doing that more action type role to comedy?
No, because I'm gonna be honest. I haven't completely delved into this new comedy role. Like we're still going back and forth about when we're actually gonna shoot. I don't think we're gonna be shooting till like May, June probably. And when I really start to focus on a film, it's like the month prior.
Gotcha.
And then about 2 weeks prior, I'm laser focused on that, and I'm only reading that script. Like I'll accept other scripts into my inbox and stuff, and but it's like I'm really laser focused on that project. So we're not there yet. So I don't know how to answer that question, but I am coming up with some fun ideas while I'm at work, while I'm reading the scripts that they send me.
Nice. Well, we can't wait to see that. And recently with that trailer that that I just showed, you actually filmed that on location. What, in Romania?
Yeah, I did it in Romania in January of last year, 2021. So that was an amazing experience. The first time I've ever been out of the country, and then to be out of the country and filming this huge movie and literally being in every scene was an amazing experience. I wish it wasn't cold at the time that I went there, because I would have explored more. But then again, I really didn't have time to, because the moment my plane landed, from the time I left, I was working like nonstop all day, or I was working or I was sleeping. That was it.
Yeah. How long were you over there filming?
3.5 weeks, something like that.
Okay. I remember whenever you got booked for that, or when you announced your booking on that and was talking about going to Romania, and I thought, girl, she's going to, if she gets the opportunity, I mean, there's so many cool places to explore over there. So that's
yeah,
too
like
bad.
Dracula's castle,
Yes.
All the crew members, they were like, that's like our backyard. We could give you like the back end tour of that, like we know the people that run the castle. And I was like, oh man, that would be so cool. We just did not have time. And then I was booked in Europe 3 times this year, but because of what's happening with Ukraine, I just don't think that those projects are going to follow through. But it kind of sucks. But there's more important things in the world than making film. Human life, quality of life, far supersede
Sure.
what the fuck I'm doing. And so it's a sad situation, but hopefully I'm hoping there'll be a resolution of some kind.
Yeah. We got a couple comments here, and Nancy says she loves your sleeves.
Oh, thanks. I got my armpits done too, babe. Like, this one's a heart, and it beats. Watch.
Now there's an audition trick for you there. And Joe says, or excuse me, Carl says, cute pupper.
Oh, thanks. Her name is Penny Poo Poo. She's a queen in her own right, a lady trapped in a dog's body, and I treat her with respect by clothing her. I make her own clothes too.
Nice. Well, actually, I saw that in on your bio there. You've got quite the impressive bio with choreographers, seamstress, MMA.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I like to keep busy. Really, like anything that interests me, I'll kind of delve into it and make it my specific new hobby and incorporate it in my life in some type of aspect. Like, here at my house, I've got a gym here, and I've got my sewing room. My sewing room is fucking bomb too. Let me tell you, girl, I can make anything in there. Anything. Anything for me, anything for poo-poo, anything for anybody. So yeah, I do that, and I'll make props for, you know, some of the films that I'm in, like some of the more the indie films and stuff like that. I like the challenge of life. I like somebody saying, I need this, and me knowing that I can do that and I can make it happen. So yeah,
Very cool.
know.
So what came first? Have you always been a trainer? I mean, a fighter, or the acting?
I've always been an athlete. I started in gymnastics when I was a child. So when I was about like 5, 6 years old, I started in gymnastics. You know, got a lot of awards, medals, trophies, did all that up until I was 13, and then I kind of went into boxing, and then discovered jujitsu in my 20s. You know, I do a little bit of everything, you know, some Muay Thai, all that, like, because you got to have top game and you got to have ground game. Otherwise, you're going to get fucked in a fight. It's going to suck. You know, and then I competed for a little bit, and then just kind of things started being a little too much. Like you can't compete and do film fights at the same time because it's just not safe. You know, you can't train for a real fight. And I had quite a few fights cancel. And I also gave up movies so I could do those fights. And after the third time, I was like, all right, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to go for film, because at least my chances of that not falling through are greater. And I'm still getting the outbursts that I need, you know, like I need to be physical. Like I need this in my life. And so if I can get it in a controlled environment, that's fine. But I also do enjoy the uncontrolled. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, I never really thought about that, and just how much would go into if you were doing real fighting versus the stage stuff, and just how much work, because I mean, your roles are just totally physical, the ones that I've seen.
Oh yeah, and I've done a lot of my fight choreography too for a lot of my films, and you know, I've got a few things booked up this year that I designed the entire sequence for and I got some really cool moves that I think some people have not seen yet, or are very, very rare. I know I haven't seen certain things in film, so I'm very excited to bring that to the table this year in some of my work.
Awesome. Well, it looks like we've got a lot of questions over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull those up. D Hoot says, where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Northwest Indiana, but I just came from Florida. I was down in Florida for 10 years before I moved here to Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, and you're right. When you talk about Atlanta being, I mean, it's the Hollywood of the South, essentially. I mean, I didn't realize just how many movies and how much now from like the 60s and 70s all the way up to now was actually filmed in Atlanta in the Southeast.
Yeah, and there's so many shows that get filmed here too, like so many big movies. Like Atlanta has been so good to me. So good to me. I've met so many amazing people. Met a lot of assholes too, but you can see that anywhere. But all in all, it's been a great experience.
Nice. And let's see here. Nancy says, what kind of training did you take for MMA stunt fighting?
I've mainly, since I had already come from like a gymnastics boxing background, I really went into jujitsu because I had my top game going really good. And then jujitsu is more of a ground game sport. And any female out there right now, anybody with children, if you have a little girl, you want to get them in jujitsu. Not the karate classes, because that's what matters when it comes to self-defense is ground game. You know, top game is pretty easy and you can always run away, but if somebody gets you on the ground, that's where you need to know how to be able to control the situation. So so I went from, you know, gymnastics to boxing to jujitsu, and I'll throw a little Muay Thai in there, but I'm not like a dancey type of kicker. I'm more of like the effective hard kick hitter. So there's a lot of things that I can physically do, but I'm not going to do in a fight because I just don't think it's the most effective move.
I like that too, because I mean, you use what works versus
Mhm.
what might look a certain way. And I like that, keeping it realistic. Let's see. And Peter Alice says, I love that she fills her life with joyful things and coolness.
Aw, you're so sweet. Yeah, I mean, I like to have a good, I like to enjoy my life. I do. I think my life is very simple. You know, I wake up, I drink my coffee, you know, snuggle my dog, go to work, I work out, go home. I mean, people are like, oh my gosh, it's so interesting. You're an actor. And like I said, I feel like I'm boring because I do have a day job. I have a regular, I'm a forensic cleaner.
Oh, that's interesting in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I guess at this point in my career, I'm just kind of like, meh, whatever. I just picked this guy's scalp off of his pillow and, you know, disposed of it. It's like, whatever.
And I'm sure, and I want to talk about that with you here in a few minutes, about, you know, that, and if that kind of ties into any paranormal stuff. But we'll get to a couple more questions here. Do you choreograph all your own moves?
Not everything that I've done and everything that's filmed out there, but most of it, yes, a good portion.
Okay. Good questions, guys. Thank you so much for being here in the chat room and for, you know, chatting along with us. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask those. Janet, she asked what your little buddy's name was. I know you'd already said that already, but if you
Penny Poo Poo, I'll say it 1,000 times because I love my little dog.
There's nothing like a best friend like that.
Yeah, she's my little snuggle. No licking. No licking. If you saw how often this dog had her tongue all over her junk, you let the dog lick your face. No
exactly. So Chris says, I bet that occupation could lead to paranormal experiences. So let's talk about your paranormal experiences. You've been experiencing things for quite some time, right?
Yeah, I would say that my first paranormal experience that I had, I was 12, about 12, 13. And we moved around a lot when I was a kid. You know, we were really poor. So it was always, you know, every year, 2 years or whatever. And we moved to this one house in Munster, Indiana, and it was super old. And they had this really creepy basement. And me and my friend and my sister, my blood sister, we had done like a seance one time. And I guess we awoken something, you know what I mean? It's that weird cliche thing that's in every fucking horror movie that you see. It starts off like that and it gets super cheesy, like whatever. But anyways, that following Christmas, I was hanging out with my sister till about like 3, 4 in the morning because we're on, you know, Christmas break. We're like, hey, we're gonna stay up and play video games, you know, Nintendo, like when it was the 2D shit, like Mario.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's the only kind I can play.
You can only go that way, like one way.
After Atari and Nintendo, I quit because I can't do the 3D and 4D stuff.
No, I can't do that either. I'm too old for it. I'm too old. And so we got finished wrapping up that around like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, something like that. And laid down to go to bed, and we shared a room, and we heard this woman singing, and we're like, what the fuck is that? And so it started off like really, really soft, and it kind of got like louder and louder, and it was like this harmonious. It was weird. It wasn't just her voice, but there was this like harmonious sound in the background. It was strange. And so we get up, go to the door. We're listening outside the door. Oh shit, like what's going on? Open the door. And as soon as I opened the door, we both started crying. Like not like boo-hoo crying, but like our eyes were just watering. Like it was just so sad. It was really weird. And my sister was terrified. I was terrified. I'm not gonna lie, I was terrified, but I still wanted to kind of investigate and see what was going on. She didn't want to. I grabbed her arm so hard. I'm like, you're coming with me. And so I grabbed her and dragging her down the hallway. And I could see this bright light in the kitchen. It was like, even if all the lights were on in the kitchen, it wouldn't have never been that bright. It's like somebody put a sun lamp in the middle of the motherfucker.
Wow.
And so I'm pulling her down the hallway. And as soon as I kind of peered out to look into the kitchen, as soon as I saw that light physically with my eyes, stopped. All this music, the lady's voice, everything just stopped. We both screamed, run back to her room, slam the door, go under the covers. We're holding each other, just shaking. And then this bitch starts coming down the hallway. We could hear her singing and coming down the hallway, and she was singing about her dead baby. So it was, and she was right outside the door, and it was so loud and it was so scary. And we were just crying our eyes out, just holding each other. And then after maybe about like 15, 20 minutes, she's like wandered back to the kitchen, I suppose. And then it was off and on, like she would stop for a little while and then start again and stop and start. And my sister would be like, oh, I can hear her. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. No, you can't. Go to sleep.
So several things. So one, it's fascinating to me that you both experienced it. And then two, do you believe that she was someone that maybe you all kind of summoned up when you had your seance, or do you believe she was someone that was connected with the house?
See, that's the hard question because we jumped around. That was our first year in that
Gotcha.
house. But I guess probably to answer that question better is, so that happened around the first Christmas we were there. Well, the next year, I made sure I was going to bed early. I wasn't doing that again. But the next Christmas, my brother, who was in the basement area, he woke up and he's like, I heard you guys messing around down there and laughing. And then he told us all these stories about like hearing giggling and our mother's old tuba playing and stuff like that. And that was not us. That was not us. So then we had this big open discussion about, the paranormal and ghosts and, the ghosts in the house. So I feel like it was definitely a ghost attached in the house for sure, because after that second year, we weren't there anymore.
Okay.
So,
and it didn't follow you.
No, and it didn't follow us. But my next ghost story, it was like this neighborhood in Daytona Beach. And I lived in I lived in 3 houses within a 2-block radius in a square.
Okay.
And there was just girl, I could talk to you for 5 hours about like ghost stories from house to house to house to house on that. All I can say is extremely scary, shadow people, things flying, little things flying across the room here and there. That wasn't the biggest thing. It was mostly the noises and the shadow people was just like crazy. And I actually went to Daytona Beach to pick up a vehicle last week, and I stayed at a house that was in that neighborhood. Not any of the houses I ever lived in there.
Okay.
But in that neighborhood. And I was there all by myself, just me and Penny, and shadow people woke up. I'm like, it's this fucking neighborhood, because on the corner of in that neighborhood, on the corner of Halifax and Riverview, there's this house, and I seen a ghost hunting van out there one time, like 10 years ago, because this house is like some kind of portal to hell. I'm being honest. I'm being fucking honest. Because this house is creepy looking on the outside, and all the years that I lived over in that neighborhood, people would move in and move out immediately. They can't keep a tenant. So I don't know the homeowners of that place. I don't know anybody that's actually lived there. All I know is what I saw as a spectator of living in that neighborhood. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's the portal to hell.
Wow. Well, I know, just looking at the comments over here, Dee Dee says, I know that light. And I know what you're talking about when you describe the light in the room as well. I've had several other investigators talk about that kind of light. It's almost like it's so bright it makes your eyes hurt.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. And let's see. Todd asks, do the two of you ever revisit that experience? and talk about it
Oh, my
now?
sister.
Mhm.
Honestly, I tried to revisit that with her like 5, 6 years ago, maybe. She doesn't even remember. This is like one of the most pivotal moments of my childhood. It was so scarring and so crazy. And she's like, huh?
Maybe she blocked it out.
I mean, I could only assume, because I'm telling you, I am not crazy. I didn't dream up like all of that. It happened. It was real. Every time I went in that basement, I got creepy feelings, somebody watching me. This, you know what I mean? Like, that house had a lot of creepy factors, but the only thing that was like ghosty that I experienced, you know, like having that back and forth or whatever, if that's what you want to call it, was around Christmas time.
Okay, so it could have been some type of significant event for that spirit.
Yeah, I feel like perhaps her child passed away around that time, because that's what she was, you know. I remember that distinctly. I can't repeat the words of what she had said, but I remember just it being a very sad song and her singing about her deceased infant.
Do you know if did your parents ever talk about experiencing anything odd?
Nope.
No.
Emotionally closed off. So no, those things didn't exist. You're just crazy.
Gotcha. Well, and you never know. I mean, being kids, that could have actually sort of brought it out. The energy, the child energy could have brought that
Yeah,
out.
I mean, that's what they say, you know, because you're just so much more open and you're not like deadened to the world, and you know, it can bring that to the table for sure.
Well, I have to say, I mean, the strangest, weirdest, creepiest experiences I've ever experienced have been in either Indiana or Ohio, of all of them.
Really?
And yeah, Indiana has two of the weirdest places that I've ever investigated as far as the hauntings and stuff. Just not a lot of story behind it to cause the activity, but just some of the most bizarre activity. And that's always happened in Indiana. And I don't know if it's, you know, the ley lines or specifically where it's at, but for me, Ohio and Indiana have been the weirdest hauntings I've ever done.
Shit, I'm gonna take you to Daytona. Like, I wonder if that one place has that portal to hell. If that's an Airbnb, let's go see. Let's
go do it. Let's do it.
I mean, I'm only gonna book one night.
Let's do it. We'll film it. I'll take the bike down. Let's do it. Well, I know I see a comment here, Nancy, which is also a fellow biker. She says, hope no one stayed there bike week.
I'm sure they had a great time staying there during bike week.
Exactly. And Joe says shadow people, very interesting subject. I actually had Mike Ricksecker on, which he's I would consider him an expert in shadow people's written some very interesting books. And so I would love to hear more about some of the shadows that you experienced. Were they like, were they coming to you during the night, or was it just kind of like all the time when you were there?
No, it was during the night. It was during the night, and what they looked like to me, it was do you know those leotards that people put on where it's like a full face one?
Yeah, the almost like the silk stocking top.
Yeah, like so it looked like that, but black, no face, no hair, you know, no nothing, just like a regular, and they were all like male shaped. I didn't see any feminine shapes. I didn't see any, you know, like boobs, you know, side boob or anything like that. But maybe it was like what do they call that? Like, where you don't know if you're like a male or female, like, you know, maybe like a mix in between or something, and they just didn't have boobs. I don't know. But it was like that, but then it was like translucent. So you could kind of see through them, but it was like, you know, like shadow person.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting to me that they're all happening in, you know, just in houses in that area. I mean, that there was so much activity.
Yeah, what I found out too from the house that I had owned on the corner there is that when they were doing some demolition, and renovating inside, they found a demonic statue inside the wall. And yeah, it was so weird. And so one of the contractors had taken it because they thought, oh, like, hey, this is kind of cool. And they took it home. And then a bunch of crazy shit started happening at their house. And then they went and they buried it like across the street. And the guy who lived there like died mysteriously after that, which is awful. I mean, all this happened, you know, way beyond after I moved there. Like I actually just recently found that information out when I went back to Daytona last week, and my mind was blown because it was just so weird, you know, because in that house that I lived in, there were so many, like, not only was there the shadow people, but I would hear like children crying here and there. And, you know, the dog was alerted many times. She was just terrified, seeing things that I couldn't see, and I could feel things that I couldn't see. So it was a little rough. And then what got rid of it, we talked to this, me and the person I was with at the time, we had talked to this person, Joyce St. Germain, out of Connecticut. And she was some kind of spiritual type of person. And it wasn't even a whole lot. It was no in-person conversation, nothing like that, just via text message, just telling her what was going on. And then she went and did some chants with her people, and they talked about it and did something, I don't know, and got a text saying your house is cleared.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I was bullshit, like bullshit, because it had been 2 years for me at that point, in that house specifically, that I, you know, wasn't getting any peace in. And we had gone to psychics left and right, spent so much money. And as soon as I met a psychic, I could tell if they were a bullshit artist, you know, just kind of, or whatever. But this lady, I don't know what she did, but she did it. And for the remainder, for the remainder of my time there, didn't have any other ghost experiences. So if like you're trying to get rid of a ghost, Google Joyce St. Germain out of Connecticut. And I'll even try to look her up, and I'll shoot you the link if you want, because that lady was a godsend. And
How did you find her? Was she recommended by somebody, or was it a chance finding?
No, it was my ex's mother's friend.
Okay.
And it was kind of random too, because we had gone to so many different people at that point. So many different people. It was obnoxious. And I needed something to happen. I needed something positive to happen. I needed some relief I needed to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I needed to be able to feel safe at my house by myself. There were so many times where stuff would happen during the day, and I'd be so afraid that I would be sitting on the porch with my laptop in 100-degree weather, sweating my ass off, trying to get my work done, because I can't go inside and be there by myself in my own home. Sucked. Wow.
Yeah, you essentially got your life back, sounds like.
I did. And I was very happy to have that back. So that lady, amazing. I couldn't recommend her highly. And she didn't even charge us anything. That was the weird thing. I was like, what do I owe you? She's like, don't even worry about it. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing. Most investigators that are good and know what they do, they don't charge anything, because they see it as more of a service to
like help. A public service. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's really unnerving too whenever your dog starts to experience these things, because back when I was married and we lived in a very, very active home, and it would be nothing to sit there. It would just be me and my dog there, and all of a sudden you would see the dog look over your shoulder, and then you would watch her look behind you, like she was following something. Yeah.
So what's going on?
Yeah. And so I was always like, hey, don't look there, look here, you know?
Right. Just watch the TV. Watch the TV.
Because it would move her, because she would sleep in her crate whenever we would be, you know, gone to work and stuff. And it would move her crate through the house. There's no way that a little 15-pound dachshund could literally drive a crate. And I had to get her a Great Dane crate. I literally used that crate as an island because it was so big, because she wanted a really big crate. And that crate would drive through the house, and I would find it in different rooms. And there's no way that she could bring it through a room, turn it, pull it around a couch, turn it, move it into 3 different rooms. Yeah.
Not with those little stubby legs.
No.
And no opposable thumbs. Like, no. Like,
Exactly.
You got some supernatural help here. Or you're a sleepwalker. I mean, who knows?
So are you empathic or sensitive to spirits when you go to a location? I mean, do you instantly pick up onto it, or is it just something that kind of happens and you notice it and don't really pay it a lot of mind?
Honestly, because of my ghost experiences, I've kind of kept myself out of that little limelight. Like, I don't, I've been wanting to go and do something. I was afraid of something following me back to my house. Mm-hmm. But since I went to Florida and had that experience last week, nothing followed me back, and I feel fine. So I feel like I have a nice, safe place. Mm-hmm. And perhaps it was, just where I was at, the location when those things were happening. So that, that's fine. But I would like to go and do something here soon, and I'll let you know.
Please do. Please do. We'll hook something up. Just want to follow it here in the comments so I don't leave anybody off. We've got Gaines Entertainment here, says good stuff. One of the best actors I've ever worked with.
Oh, hi, Barry.
Wonderful comment there. And that's what I hear. Anyone that, I see your post and I just see nothing but praise and accolades and stuff from people who enjoy watching you, enjoy working with you. And that's just awesome.
Yeah, I definitely, not to cut you off, but I want to take a minute just to thank everybody for all of that. Like, it means a lot. It's amazing. It's amazing that people care. And I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life the last couple of years. And just having so many people that back me up and care and appreciate my work and my work ethic, in spite of everything I've had going on, I've still gone to work every fucking day, done my damn job, and busted my ass to do what I'm supposed to do. So
that's right.
Been a little crabby here and there, but
but you're doing it. You're doing it and getting it done.
I'm still doing it. I'm still showing up every day.
That's right. And Carl says, which he's an investigator out of the West Virginia area. He says investigators who charge for residential investigations are in the field for the wrong reasons. So, yeah, that's kind of a common thing. And a lot of people who call people in, that say that and are surprised, when they're not charged. If someone is going to charge you, you definitely need to turn the other way, because a lot of the time, that was my big takeaway from my thing. Anybody that charged me was full of shit, and the one person that actually did something for me didn't want a dime. Yeah. So let's talk just a little bit about your forensic cleanup, like you were mentioned earlier. Have you ever had any experiences that you believe may have kind of happened? And the reason I ask that is because I worked on a case early on when I started doing paranormal investigations, and one of the guys that I worked with, he was a former cop. And so I remember he gave me, one of my first things was he gave me some crime scene photos. And I tell you, I saw the weirdest thing in the picture. So it was a double homicide. And in the picture was this, I don't know, it was the crime scene. And there was like this face, and it had the weirdest looking teeth, and it was just kind of in this mist over in the room. And what was interesting about it was just snapped photos from the crime scene investigators. Probably really shouldn't have even seen it, but it was
whatever.
You get kind of numb to it. But there was something clearly going on over this crime scene. So I wonder, have you ever experienced anything based on somewhere that you've been working?
I will say a couple things. So my first experience, it wasn't my personal experience. It was little Penny Poo Poo's experience. So this amazing lady, Tammy, and I say that because, you know, when you're going through somebody's house and you're getting rid of all of their things, you get to know a lot about them. And so this is a lady that'll always stick with me. She was such an introverted person. She didn't know anybody. So there's nobody to close up her estate except for like some really distant coworker of hers who showed up and was just like, I didn't even really know her. You know, so going through her house and kind of discovering who this person was a very interesting process because it's huge, you know, for a single lady to live in like a 5-bedroom house that was like 4,000 square feet and every room was packed with stuff. It was a lot. Anyway, she had passed away on the toilet, on the downstairs commode. And after we had junked out the house and got everything cleared out, you know, I'll bring my dog with me on days that I'm just doing some regular cleaning. And I was upstairs cleaning and Penny starts freaking the fuck out right outside that bathroom. And, you know, Tammy was a dog lover. She was a big dog animal lover. And so I think she was like wanting to pet my dog. Or that's the feeling I got, is that she wanted to pet my dog. And Penny freaked out for a minute and was like staring at something that I could not see. And, you know, I just talked to Tammy for a second and I told her, hey, everything's okay. We're friends. And like, this is my dog, and everything stopped. So that was like the only thing that I had seen I've been doing this job for almost 2 years now. So that was one thing. Right now, what I'm seeing is like things out of the corners of my eyes, like a shadow here, shadow there, especially at the house that I was working on today where this guy committed suicide at. And I've worked a lot of suicides, a lot of homicides, like all the things that you could think of. But I hadn't had any experiences until after I came back from Florida. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe Florida didn't trigger something, and that maybe I've got a lot going on and I'm just being anxious and hypervigilant. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's interesting to be in that type of situation. And I would imagine, I mean, that's one you really just have to think of it as I'm doing this service, because I'm sure that can get pretty heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you get kind of numb to it. You know, you definitely have to have like a morbid sense about you, I suppose, to be able to do this job. It's very mechanical. There are certain aspects that have been very hard in cleanup, you know, like there's certain things that are hard.
Sure.
You know, but for the most part, it's fine. I guess if you have a specific question you want to ask, maybe that would.
No. I mean, like I said, just some of the stuff. I mean, it's just, I would imagine it's just can put you in a heavy situation. But something I did want to ask about, when I look at your kind of over your list of, you know, TV shows, indie films, feature films. I'm really quite fascinated on the television side of things. You've actually done several paranormal documentaries and crime documentaries.
Yes. My most recent one I did, I filmed it out in Virginia last year, and it just came out a couple months ago. It was called A Haunting. I'm on season 11, episode 3, and I lead as, what was my name? She's going to hate me because we're friends on Facebook. I can't remember. Honestly, I've done so many roles of so many things. Like, I can't remember who I was that day, and I apologize. I'll think of it randomly on the tail end of this interview, I'm certain. But they owned a costume shop up in I can't remember that state. Anyways, so they owned a costume shop. It used to be a prison crematorium or something, and so there was all these ghostly happenings, and they still have the costume shop there, and so there's still all these like ghosty things going on. I'll put a link on it so everybody
Yes,
that's
please
watching can, you know what I mean? Like, I know y'all want to see it. I'm so sorry that I'm not giving the greatest information right now. It's been a long day.
No, I totally understand. I mean, I can only imagine doing as many roles as you've done and trying to remember all the names and all the different ones. That would be quite the challenge. But so when you played that, was it more of like the recreation you were playing, the recreation of that person?
Yeah. So they give you a breakdown of like who this person is and their mannerisms and that kind of stuff. And then you just do what you do. Yeah, I mean, it was, I mean, I don't know, like I'm the type of person where, you know, you give me a couple bullet points on what it is that I'm doing. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to get in that mentality and, you know, fully dive into that type of a role. And then we have movie magic.
Well, I tell you, I really, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at these episodes of Homicide Hunter and Killer Couples because I'm a true crime junkie as well. So have to check those out as well.
Cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Those
Yeah.
are the thing. I mean, I have the murder channel. That's what I call it. I don't have the crime channel. I have the murder channel on my TV all day long because my dog, she likes to hear the noise of that. So that's just the easiest channel is that weird that I have horror movies and the murder channel on at all times in my house? And I'm just like vacuuming and making cupcakes and stuff like that. And there's hideous screaming and blood curdling noises going on, and I'm just like, dusting.
See, that sounds like my house, except I started with my dog putting on the cooking channel because I felt like when I left her with those sounds that she didn't fare too well. But anytime I was there, so she probably associated me with the screaming sounds there, and you know, that's what I always had on when I was there. So we're getting ready to, we're almost here at the top of the hour and getting ready to wrap up. So anything that you want to promote and plug that's coming up for you that you've got going on?
Well, I have a few things. Adrenaline, like the trailer that y'all seen. I don't know when it's going to be out. I do know it was picked up for distribution by Cinephile earlier this year. So at some point there'll be an announcement on my Facebook and, you know, like newsy type of stuff that on when that's going to be out. But let's see. I've got a couple movies that I'm filming this year that I can't talk about a whole lot. I have a really cool, one of the most exciting roles I have is coming up in May. And not to like, you know, be like that with anything else I did. It's just, I really like psychopathic characters. Ooh. And I love the South. So to combine those two things with horror, I'm like, yeah. So I get to don my West Virginia accent and play a psychopathic hillbilly in a really awesome supporting role for a feature. And thank you, Charles. You did an amazing job writing, and I can't wait to work with you. We had been booked for a couple of films, and then like the pandemic happened. So, you know, at least I've got this one now, so that's cool.
Nice. Yeah, you'll have to come back on whenever that comes out, and we'll definitely plug it.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll hit you up anytime I've got anything that's kind of like horror or spooky, you know, paranormally related. There was one that I was supposed to be filming in Europe that was a really big horror with there was some good names in that one that, it's kind of on the back burner right now, but I'm still in it.
Nice. Well, I know Chris Sumner says you should come up here and visit us here at the historic Scott County Jail. We'll take you on a ghost hunt here. You never know. And
Yeah, I want to go.
yeah, you can come up, do a photo shoot here at the jail. We've got it's beautiful when it comes to photography. It's shaped like a castle. And so, and then
yeah,
the
you guys like
lighting.
ass and tattoos, because that's what I'm
Sure,
gonna bring.
sure. There you go. Bring it. Bring it. Yeah, because it's perfect lighting in the evenings. In the morning over on the east side, we get the best lighting for the golden hour in the morning, and then the golden hour in the evening. On the west side over here, it's just beautiful when it shines through the sails.
Oh, that
Great
sounds
lighting for photography.
fun. Are you
Yeah.
gonna arrest me?
Sure. Come on.
Fuck yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah. So like I said, we got a lot going on here, and a lot of people that comment in here that they enjoyed the show. You all definitely need to go and check out Constance's work. And where's the place where they can? Is there one place where they can find some of kind of a listing of stuff if they want to check you out?
If you go to imbd.com, that's always you can see most of everything, but like following me on Facebook is the best thing, because I'm always constantly like putting out my new reels and my new like links to stuff. Unfortunately, I can't accept every friend request because I'm about to hit that 5,000 mark, and I gotta keep it for like the new directors and producers and stuff that I meet is the majority of the people I have on there. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm hoping Facebook will up their limit. That would be great. And then
You just need to become a public figure on there.
Yeah. I'm not fancy like that yet. I'm learning. I'm getting a new office this next 2 weeks. So hopefully I'll be able to advance in some sort of social media aspect.
Yeah, you got to get that blue check mark on there and become official there.
Yeah, I think I should be able to do that at this point.
I would say, and we do have your IMDb link in the show notes for here, as well as on the LinkedIn page, and then also on YouTube, and it will be on the My Mix 104.1 coming up this Saturday. So, so you guys definitely need to go check out some of her work. She said she's going to send the link for the paranormal documentary there, and check out some of her stuff, and be on the lookout for the new stuff that's coming out. Just want to take a few minutes and talk about a couple things that we've got going on here. April 23rd, Enigma Cons at the St. Albans Sanatorium. I'm going to be a guest speaker there, and they're doing a paranormal ghost hunt on, I believe, that Friday and that Saturday night. And so I believe it's sold out. I think I just saw the thing on that, so I don't think there's any tickets at the door. So I know that there's some folks here in the comments that are planning to come. So looking forward to seeing you guys there on April 23rd. And I just want to share the screen here on let's see, let me pull this up, on a big event that we just announced this week coming up here at the historic Scott County Jail. And so let me pull the comment off there. Whoops. So you guys can see, we just announced this. We're having a big blessing of the bikes here at the historic Scott County Jail on April 16th at noon. We're in the Eastern time zone. So you're going to want to get here early, because we've been getting a lot of messages from people that's planning to come. Hopefully the weather will hold out for us, but that's going to be hosted by the Christian Motorcycle Association. And so they're going to be doing our blessing of the bikes for us. We're going to be kicking off riding season as well as Easter weekend, and we got food trucks coming. We've also, you can come and you can take tours here of the historic and haunted jail. We're really hoping to pack this parking lot out with, loud engines and two wheels, and just have a great time here at the historic Scott County Jail. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first blessing of the bikes that they've actually had here in the county. So we're really excited to be bringing some really cool motorcycle events here to the county and here to the historic Scott County Jail. So that's going to be happening on April 16th. So definitely be on the lookout for more information coming on that. And then also whoops, let me pull up here. And then also on May 21st, we've got the second annual Harold Young Dart Run, and it's the Harold Young Memorial Scholarship Dart Run that's named in honor of my dad. And so if you're familiar with a motorcycle poker run, this is a dart run. It's a game of chance rather than, or excuse me, a game of skill rather than a game of chance. And all the money that's, and I don't know if anybody just heard that, but it sounds like something is walking upstairs here in one of the trustee cells up above. I don't know if anybody heard that across the mic, but I feel like I'm not alone.
Oh, spooky!
Yeah, that was kind of loud. And so, but yeah, you know, as Dr. Sumner said over here in the comments, you don't have to be a rider. Please feel free to come out. But on the Harold Young Dart Run, you don't have to be on the motorcycle. We do welcome cagers or four wheels. We do welcome you guys to come, but there's going to be 3 stops on it. And I'm very excited that the very first stop is going to be here at the, and they are making a lot of noise up there, is going to be at the historic Scott County Jail, and then Telegraph Motorcycle Shop, and then also at the Masons. We're partnering with the Masonic Lodge, which is who we partnered with last year. And, you know, we're going to be able to give $1,000 scholarship this year to a student at Scott High School that's looking to go into the field of science. So we're really excited about that, hoping to raise a lot of money at this coming dart run on May 21st. So, so that's just a couple of the things that we've got coming up here over the next little bit. So, you know, watch the Ghost Biker Explorations website, ghostbikerexplorations.com. Runaway Vixen on Instagram, and then also on the Facebook page. And we'll have all the information of all the events and everything that's coming up. So those are just a couple that's coming up pretty hot and heavy here during the months of April and May. So, so yeah, I don't know if anybody else heard all that racket going on, but it was very, very distracting. And I know Nancy says that she saw lights flashing behind me. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me. We get a lot of shadow figures and a lot of crazy sounds and stuff here. So, but again, thank you guys so much. We're going to be ending Women's History Month here at the Ghost Biker Garage next Thursday with, I'm going to have Sarah V from, she's from Paranormally Blonde, but she's going to be coming on and talking about Reiki and talking about what she does with that. So we're really, really excited to have her on next week to end Women's History Month, and then we'll be kicking off April with some very, very cool guests that we'll get into after next week. So like I said, just keep an eye out on the pages, and also for Monday night on the Jailhouse Informant on the historic Scott County Jail page, where we'll have that podcast coming up. So again, thank you everyone. And thank you so much, Constance, for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure to finally get to sit and chat with you.
Yes, and girl, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. We got to hang out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going down to the Devil's Doorway.
There you go. Let's do it.
It's been decided.
There you go. All right, everyone. Well, you guys have a great night, and we will talk soon.
Oh my God. So Paranormally Blonde is like the